Hey guys, it's Iblis here, the Baron's Finest, getting you all another deck profile. We're almost done with this little series that I'm going to be going on break. But, I have another deck profile for you guys today, and this time it is actually Perdition, Kagero. This is the first Kagero build I've ever really made. I've enjoyed Kagero, it's been a fun deck. I tried to trade this off a while ago, but I almost lost it. But I thankfully got the deck back, and I'll go and get started on the deck list. So, yeah. And by the way, you guys will get some treats of high rarity cards in this deck profile. So for our starter, actually I can comment on some possible changes to the list if you want, because I have the spares on me. So to start off with, I choose to play Red Pulse Draco Kid as my starter. Another possible option is Dragon Knight Sudegg. But Red Pulse is the generic grade 3 searcher. Sudegg is the move it to soul. When opponent's rear guard is retired, you pay cost, and then you retire something else. Depending on which grade 3 you choose to play as your secondary one, actually would really affect which one I play as my starter. This is because of the current alternate grade 3 I'm going, but if I do decide to play the other one I'm considering, I would definitely switch over to Sudegg. But that is my that's the debate on the starter. And it also depends on what you want. Like, you could definitely play Sudegg over Red Pulse. And then for triggers, I am a really big fan of 7 crits, and then the 5 draws. I know some people will say, why are you not playing 4 Gatling Claw and then 1 of the Seal Dragon draw? The reason I'm doing it this way is because I find that I just really more so want to be soul charging than anything else. I have a hard time keeping soul in this deck because soul is really important. And granted, one of my card choices doesn't support that, but it was more so like a fun tech I wanted to play. But I like the Seal Dragon, and plus I see Gatling Claw enough, so it's fine. I mean, to be fair, you still play the 3 Gatling Claw, so there you see it more. And then last but not least for heal, because I think that Teresa is the best heal trigger in Kagero. So that does it for the triggers. 7 crit, 5 draw, 4 heal. For the ones, as soon as I can actually grab a hold of my ones, there we go. We play 4 copies of Dragon Dancer Maria Perfect Guards. I'm not a big fan of Perfect Guard Gs. I don't feel like you need them as much. They're cool, but they're not needed, and I don't like dealing with Kagero, like opposing Kagero decks being like, oh, door deck, swing your rear guard, swing your rear guard, swing your rear guard. Plus, I don't find myself super needing the unflips because they don't super counterblast, and not to mention I have Perdition Battler Maliko for unflipping whenever something in the same column as it retires. If you have Perdition Vanguard, you Soul Blast 1, unflip 1. So that's pretty cool. And it has to be during main phase, excuse me. Double Lava Flow Dragon. Stride Fodder. What can I say? 3 Gojo. We are playing an H grade 3 Legion deck, so we want the possibilities of Legioning or just filtering. And then these 2 are just one-ofs. 1 Calamity Tower Wyvern and 1 Dragonic Gaius. Gaius is more so a fun tech that I wanted to play. What it does, for people who don't know, is Soul Blast 2 and rest it. When a Kagero normal unit in the same column as this unit attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, that unit gets +1 crit. So it gets you in there pretty early. If you don't want to be playing Gaius, I would either play the 2nd Calamity Tower Wyvern, or the other case I'm actually really considering is teching 1 Lizard Soldier Conroe. I don't own a Conroe, but after seeing it done at the European Continentals, I actually like the idea of the tech 1 Conroe. So there's that. Pretty, for the most part, standard 1 lineup in Perdition. Maybe you'll see more Lava Flow, and you could also play into the Lava Flow for Gaius. For the 2s, these 2s are actually slightly out of order. 4 copies of Menace Laser. CB1, when it's placed on R, if you have a Perdition Vanguard, you pick a rear guard in the same column as it and retire it. Really great counter rush card. If your opponent makes columns, you snipe their back row, swing at their front row. This card is just great. This is part of the reason I actually wanted to even make Perdition as my Kagero deck, just because I absolutely love Menace Laser. Menace Laser is like such a good card. 4 copies of Whirlwind. 12k attacker. It's a really important card, and all of these 2s are Legion mates, which I'll talk about. And then the last 2 I'm playing is Neoflame. I'm not a big fan of maxing the card, and I don't like playing 12 twos. I don't know why, but I feel like I think Neoflame was technically the weakest of the twos in the entire Perdition deck. And what it does, for people who don't know, is during the turn it's placed on R, it gets a new skill. CB1, when opponent's rear guard in the same column is put in a drop, you can pay the cost. If you do, kill something else in the same column as it. So even if you swing, like say you swing at a front row, CB, retire the back row. So it does technically enable itself. This next three is something that you can... Okay, that's it for the twos, the 11 twos. This next three is something you could definitely swap out, and I am actually in debate about which other three I want to be running. I have 4 copies of Vortex Dragonute. However, I am debating about switching it to the Pain Laser Legion. Pain Laser, for people who don't know, is essentially a Root Flare. On Legion, CB1, you pick a column and retire all rear guards in that column. And then Dragonute is CB2, discard a copy of a unit on your Vanguard circle when you're in Legion, so it can be either the leader or the mate. When you do, you retire 2 of your opponent's rear guards and they take 1 damage. I'm not as fond of Dragonute in Stride format, and I feel like Pain Laser could be better in Stride format. This is also the reason I'm playing Red Pulse Dracocade as my starting Vanguard, because Red Pulse doesn't really care as much about grabbing Pain Lasers. But that comes down to preference. Do what you want. Either or works. Or if you want to be really budget and not play the main grade 3 of the deck, or at least what I think is the main grade 3, Dragonic Overlord the Great, then you could definitely probably try like Dragonute Pain Laser, but I don't know how much I like that concept. But the Great is so good. Oh my god, this card. This card is actually like something that Kagero doesn't really have a whole lot in of itself, which is a finisher. It's a swing at rear, swing at van. You filter through the deck. You hit. I love the Great. The Great's like another part of the reason I wanted to build Perdition as my Kagero deck, instead of being like a Great Blade Master. But that does it for the main board and other possible options. For the G zone, I am doing it slightly differently than most Kagero players now. I went with older logic. I still play the one Mahmood, and I play the one Zom. Zom is really good when you have Menace, because you just start retiring. Like, if you call a Neoflame, Zom, like, if you call Neoflame, have Zom, and then call a Menace, like, you can just retire so much. Malika lets you unflip in that process. I like Zom. I think Zom's a really great card. I would keep the one. I'd keep one Zom. I mean, I like these two, but if you want, I would drop these other 2 for 2 more Root Flares. I also play 2 copies of Divine Dragon Knight Mustafa. I've always been a fan of Mustafa since GBT03. CB1, flip a stride face up, but you're realistically going to Persona flip this. Pick a rear guard, retire it, and then for every face up copy of itself in your G zone, you pick a unit, and then if that unit hits, it gets a new skill of unflipping 1. So you can pick Vanguard, you can pick your rear guards, but you'll probably just be picking your Vanguard because nobody's going to really like super care if you unflip just 1 damage. Because, you know, it's Kagero. They're going to want to block other things anyways. Double Root Flare. It has to be second stride, but you just wipe a column. It's basically the Pain Laser Legion, but as a stride. And then the real finisher of the deck, 2 copies of Dragonic Supreme Heavenly Emperor Dragon, Dragonic Overlord the Ace, CB2 Persona Flip. If you have 2 more units in your G zone until end of turn, you get the drive check -1, and then a once per turn skill. Discard 2 cards, one of which has to be a Dragonic Overlord. Or excuse me, one of which has to be an Overlord unit. At the end of a battle, this unit attacked a Vanguard. You may pay the cost. If you do, stand it, and he gets power +5. So, better Victoplasma. Thanks, Bushy. Victoplasma can't be better. But, yeah, this card I actually almost find it funny that I did technically 2 deck profiles with focusing on around restanding Vanguards, and Tetra Boil was like the last one I did. But, yeah, that really does it for, this deck profile. I know it's kind of like short, but I don't think Perdition needs a whole lot of explaining. I mean, Perdition's Perdition. You just kind of play around with it as you will. But let me actually get a little bit of something to look at real quick. Here we go. Deal with the triple R. But I think that's going to do it for this deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed. We're approaching the end of the road on this. There we go. Yeah. We're almost done with this whole session of deck profiles. Should be like one left that I have to actually record. The other few I've already recorded. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Next one should hopefully be Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not entirely certain on that. Don't quote me. But yeah, that's going to do it for now, guys. And until next time, peace.